cough syrups. They're supposed to help, right? Not always. A recent report has exposed a disturbing truth. Some generic versions of Mucinex contain a dangerous chemical called benzene. Yes, benzene. The stuff they warn you about at gas stations. We're not talking about trace amounts either. Bloomberg's investigation found levels of benzene in certain batches of generic Mucinex that exceed the limit considered safe by the FDA. This is a big deal, folks. Benzene is a known carcinogen linked to leukemia and other cancers. It's not something you want lying in wait in your medicine cabinet, especially in products meant for children. So how did this happen? And what can you do to protect yourself and your family? Let's dive in. Bloomberg's investigation wasn't messing around. They tested 20 different batches of generic Mucinex from different manufacturers. The results? Shocking. 4 batches contained benzene levels exceeding the FDA's acceptable limit. One batch even had double the allowed amount. That's like finding out your healthy breakfast cereal is actually laced with arsenic. Not ideal. This isn't the first time benzene has been found in unexpected places. In recent years, it's popped up in sunscreen, hand sanitizer, and even dry shampoo. It's becoming a disturbing trend. This latest discovery highlights a serious problem: the lack of transparency and oversight in the pharmaceutical industry, particularly when it comes to generic medications. Here's the thing, brand name Mucinex wasn't flagged in Bloomberg's testing, so what's the difference? It all comes down to those sneaky little things called inactive ingredients. Inactive ingredients are like the filler tracks on your favorite band's album. They're there, but they're not the main attraction. In medications, these ingredients help with things like shelf life, taste, and how the drug breaks down in your body. The problem is, these inactive ingredients aren't subject to the same level of scrutiny as the active ingredients. That means they can vary wildly between brand name and generic versions, and sometimes those variations can have serious consequences. Let's be clear, benzene is bad news. It's not just a minor irritant or a substance you can ignore. This isn't up for debate. The scientific community is unanimous on this point. The World Health Organization classifies benzene as a Group 1 carcinogen, meaning it's a known cause of cancer in humans. This classification is based on extensive research and evidence. Exposure to benzene has been linked to leukemia, lymphoma, and other blood cancers. These are serious, life-threatening conditions that can drastically affect one's quality of life. It can also mess with your bone marrow, the factory that produces your blood cells. Not good. Disrupting this process can lead to severe health issues, including anemia and immune system problems. You might be thinking, but I'm not huffing paint thinner here. I don't work in a factory or a lab where benzene is used. How much benzene can really be in cough syrup? That's a fair point. It might seem like a negligible amount, but the thing about carcinogens is that there's no safe level of exposure. Even the smallest amount can be harmful. Even small amounts over time can increase your risk of developing cancer. It's a cumulative effect that builds up in your body. And when it comes to our health, shouldn't we be striving for better than not immediately lethal? We should aim for the highest standards of safety and well-being for ourselves and our loved ones. Regulatory gaps, a global concern. The United States isn't the only country grappling with the benzene problem. In fact, other countries have been sounding the alarm for years. The European Union, for example, has much stricter limits on benzene in pharmaceuticals than the United States. They also have stricter regulations on the use of certain inactive ingredients that are known to be contaminated with benzene. So why is the United States dragging its feet? Part of the problem is that the FDA's oversight of generic drugs is, shall we say, less than robust. Generic drug manufacturers don't have to jump through the same hoops as brand name manufacturers when it comes to proving the safety of their products. Retailers respond, pulling products off shelves. In this section, we delve into the immediate actions taken by major retailers in response to the alarming news. In the wake of Bloomberg's report, major retailers like CVS and Walgreens took swift action, pulling the affected batches of generic Mucinex from their shelves. That's the good news. These retailers acted quickly to prevent further potential harm to consumers. The bad news is that this reactive approach feels a bit like closing the barn door after the horse is bolted. The damage may have already been done and the shelves now stand empty. leaving consumers without their needed medication. How many people unknowingly ingested benzene-laced cough syrup before the recall? This question looms large, causing concern among families who trusted these products.
The FDA has said it's reviewing the situation and will take appropriate action. They are currently assessing the extent of the contamination and the potential health risks involved. What that action will be remains to be seen. The public is left waiting, uncertain and anxious about the next steps. But let's be real, a strongly worded letter probably won't cut it this time. The situation demands more than just formalities. It requires decisive and effective measures. We need comprehensive reform that addresses the root causes of this problem, lax regulations, inadequate testing, and a lack of transparency in the generic drug industry. Only through stringent oversight and rigorous testing can we ensure the safety and trustworthiness of the medications we rely on.
Beyond Mucinex, benzene lurks in other products. This isn't just a Mucinex problem. Benzene contamination is far more widespread than most people realize. Remember the sunscreen, hand sanitizer, and dry shampoo we talked about earlier? Those are just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, those weren't isolated incidents either. Benzene has been detected in a wide array of everyday products. Benzene has a knack for popping up in unexpected places. It's a volatile organic compound that can be found in many environments. It's been found in everything from air fresheners to bottled water. Even products that seem harmless can be contaminated. Why? Because it's a byproduct of many industrial processes, and sometimes it sneaks its way into consumer products. The manufacturing and packaging processes can inadvertently introduce benzene. The FDA has been playing whack-a-mole with benzene contamination for years. They are constantly monitoring and testing products to ensure safety. They find it in one product, they issue a recall, and then it pops up somewhere else. It's a never-ending battle to keep consumers safe. It's a vicious cycle that needs to stop. Consumers deserve to trust the products they use daily without fear of hidden dangers. We need to stop treating benzene like an unwelcome house guest and start treating it like the serious health threat it is. Awareness and education are key to addressing this issue. That means cracking down on industrial polluters, tightening regulations on consumer products, and investing in better testing methods. Only through comprehensive action can we hope to eliminate benzene contamination and protect public health. The price of trust: generic drugs under scrutiny. This whole benzene debacle has eroded public trust in generic medications. And let's be real, trust is like a fragile teacup. Once it's broken, it's damn near impossible to put back together.
People rely on generic drugs to be safe, effective, and affordable. When that trust is shattered, it has real-world consequences. People may hesitate to take their medications, leading to worse health outcomes. Others may be forced to choose between their health and their wallets, opting for cheaper, potentially contaminated generics because they simply can't afford the brand name alternative. That's not a choice anyone should have to make.
Consumer beware, navigating a complex landscape. So what can you do to protect yourself in this wild west of pharmaceuticals? It's tough, but knowledge is power. Here are a few tips.
Yes, it's boring, but it's important. Pay attention to both the active and inactive ingredients. Before taking any medication, generic or brand name, research its safety profile. The internet is your friend here. If you have concerns about a particular medication, don't hesitate to ask your doctor for alternatives.
The need for action protecting public health. This benzene situation is a symptom of a larger problem, a regulatory system that prioritizes profit over people. The FDA is outmatched, outgunned, and quite frankly, out of excuses.
We need stricter regulations on both the active and inactive ingredients in all medications, generic and brand name. We need more transparency in the pharmaceutical industry, so consumers know what's in the products they're putting in their bodies. And we need to hold manufacturers accountable when they put profits before people. It's time to stop treating public health like an afterthought.
Demand better. Your health is worth fighting for. This isn't just about cough syrup, folks. It's about demanding better from the companies we trust with our health and the agencies tasked with protecting us.
Write to your elected officials. Demand stricter regulations on pharmaceuticals. Support organizations fighting for consumer safety. Make some noise. Because when it comes to our health, silence is unacceptable. Let's make them hear us, loud and clear.